how do you see pockets of value in Europe today, and what does the environment look like compared to in the wake of the financial crisis 10 years ago?
Yeah, so we in our business we invest across both the US and in Europe. And in Europe, we view it as it's a lower growth, more fragmented, more dislocated market, higher barriers to entry to build new product, and that environment continues to serve up quite interesting investing opportunities for us. If I think about today versus after the financial crisis, when we came out of the financial crisis in Europe, an awful lot of real estate assets ended up in the hands of people for whom those assets were non-core. If you think of banks who had a lot of non-performing loans, there were funds who that were at the end of the investment period, so these assets now had to be liquidated. And even governments had to form, particularly in Ireland and Spain, had to form organizations to resolve some of these problem assets. So back then, the investing opportunity was really to provide capital to those types of organizations so they could release those assets. People like us and others would take them on, try and reposition them, improve the operations, sometimes make some strategic interventions to improve the assets, and sell them on to more natural long-term owners of those properties. That situation still persists. Even now, 10 years after the crisis, there are still plenty of opportunities to invest in those types of impaired assets. But the big shift we've seen in the past, say, 3 to 4 years, is that in many of the major cities in Europe, one of the sort of impacts of the financial crisis was that credit was less available for developers to build new product. And as a result, we've seen in many cities in Europe an undersupply of appropriate, modern, good quality accommodation that companies and people want to office in or live in. And so now we see an opportunity for investors to team up with those types of developers and create that new product. So we've moved from a sort of post-crisis value investing opportunity to more of a growth-oriented opportunity.